Prime-time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and thank you for being with us on this Friday night. We begin with news regarding the city's new arena. The Lloydminster Place event facility team has extended their architect contract. It was discussed at council earlier this week to extend the contracts of TBD Architecture and Urban Planning to allow them to continue to work on this project as it soon enters the construction phase.
TBD Architecture and Urban Planning has been the architect we've used on this project to this point, and part of that was until we had an approval, we didn't know exactly what everything else was going to be. So today it got brought up again to extend that contract with TBD Architecture and Urban Planning out of Edmonton, just to continue the work that they do in seeing the Lloydminster event facility come to fruition.
Now, this approval has led to adding a detailed design of the full site, which will include the slow pitch diamonds, campgrounds, and green spaces.
In essence, they're the architect, but ensuring that the engineering meets those specs, working through their team of engineers, and that the project manager and construction managers do their job that's being proposed, as well as the local trades, because we will have local trades working on the project. So we're very excited, but this is just another step as we continue to move forward on the project.
Despite the contract extension, the start date of construction is still to be determined. And for more on the hot weather we're going to be experiencing over the weekend, let's check in with Shelby Clark.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, unfortunately, we are going to be seeing some pretty serious heat coming here, especially here in the border city. That's going to be coming across the provinces here as we go throughout our weekend for Mother's Day weekend and into next week as we were just looking. Hopefully, everybody is staying safe. Make sure that you are drinking lots of water, using sunscreen, and just trying to stay safe out there. I know it's not looking good for the fire situation, the wildfires, but please make sure also if you are smoking whatsoever, be careful where you put out the rest of that smoke in the butts and everything. So please make sure you are being safe out there. But right now here in the border city, we are just sitting at 23 degrees. So we haven't quite hit those close to 30-degree temperatures yet for today, but it is still feeling like a scorcher outside. With that wind chill not really feeling much, we are just sitting at 23, and we are looking at a mixture of some sun and cloud. And of course, we saw a lot more sun peeking behind those clouds throughout the day. So hopefully everybody is just being safe out there and also trying to enjoy it, because I know, of course, you know, we all were waiting for these hot temperatures, but of course, with all the wildfires, it's not looking too nice out for that. Switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, most spots are just sitting around 23, 24 degrees as well. We have down in Wainwright just hitting 20 degrees, and then the rest are just seeing between, yes, 22 to 24. So kind of matching with most of these areas on our Alberta side. Going over to our Saskatchewan side here, they are kind of matching with us on our Alberta side with those conditions. Some spots are even looking a couple degrees warmer. We have 24 there with Green Lake, and we are seeing some 25s on this side with Pearson and Meadow Lake, and down in North Battleford they are just sitting at 24 as well. So we are kind of seeing those mid-20s. North Battleford will be seeing that 6-degree mark for their evening low, expecting a clear and calm night. So definitely a beautiful evening expected tonight for North Battleford. Then for their Saturday, this is when we start to hit near those 30-degree temperatures. Of course, 28 degrees for their daytime high and plenty of sunshine. So very warm. It's going to be a beautiful day, but please make sure you are being safe out there. Like I was saying, it's going to be also some dry conditions. So make sure you're just drinking lots of water. For tonight, for Cold Lake, they will be looking at that 8-degree mark for their evening low and expecting a clear and calm night, not even expecting too much cloudy conditions. And then 27 is their daytime high for their Saturday, and very warm with lots of sunshine. So a beautiful day expected for Cold Lake for their Saturday. For us here in the border city, we will be expecting that low of 9 for tonight, so a beautiful temperature and a nice night tonight, expecting to be a clear and calm night once again as we head into our weekend. Then for our Saturday, 27 for our daytime high, and experiencing lots of sunshine for tomorrow. So we are definitely going to be seeing a much sunnier weekend ahead for us here in the border city. Ending off with a look at your 3-day forecast. We will be looking at that on Saturday. Then Sunday, just in time for Mother's Day, even warming up to 28 as we get closer to that 30-degree mark. So make sure you're drinking lots of water. Make sure to find some shade if need be, because we will be seeing those temperatures kind of continue into next week, as yes, we are going to be close to hitting those 30-degree marks. So just be prepared for this heat wave that's going to be coming up. That's all I have for now. For a first look at your weather forecast.
Thank you for that, Shelby. After the break, a family is looking for answers after their daughter died while in the care of social services. The warm weather has finally brought on seeding season for the province of Saskatchewan. Our Thomas Wildman has more in this week's crop report.
Today we're back once again with the crop report, and with me as always is our crop extension specialist for the government of Saskatchewan, Matt Struthers. And so thank you so much for being with me today once again, Matt. And how has it been for you over this winter and starting off here in the spring?
It's been good. It's been good getting back in the flow of things with the crop report, and I'm looking forward to a really good year. Very optimistic for it, and I think we're starting out great. I know we're a little bit delayed, but that shouldn't be too much of a worry.
So looking at the crop report, you guys said that the seeding season is a little bit behind across a good portion of the province. What are the main reasons for those delays for seeding to start up here in Saskatchewan?
Well, the main delay was April just wouldn't warm up for us. It was a cold month, lots of snow still sticking around. We had that late spring storm that came through the south half of the province, and it's really tough to get out there and seed when there's snow out there, let alone moisture and also some cold soil. So producers just had to sit tight and wait. I know a lot of them were just prepping their equipment ready to go the second they could, and now they're finally able to get that chance. And it's a little bit of an odd year since the Northwest is leading the charge with seeding, and the South is trying to play catch up. But give them a couple days of warm weather, and they'll be out there in the fields in no time. The Southeast and the East Central, the two parts of the province that have the most moisture still sitting in some of their low areas, they're going to be a little bit slow compared to the rest of the regions. But again, that's more of a typical thing that they experience.
So you mentioned the Northwest being a bit more on schedule. That's where the Lloydminster is and our area here. Why has it been so quick to turn around here in Lloydminster, and that our farmers have been able to get out in the fields and start seeding?
So up in the Northwest, and many producers up there didn't get the heavy snowfall, and some of the other parts of the province did. So it was just easy to get out there because the snow wasn't there. And then two, it started to warm up there a little bit earlier. And then three, they didn't get that late snowfall that the South did that really hampered a lot of operations. Usually down here in the South, mid-April, a lot of guys will get out going. And by the beginning of May, they'll be close to finished, and that's kind of the reverse this year. The North, or the Northwest at least, got started just about the same time, if not earlier than the South. So no, conditions look good. I know up in the Northwest there are some pockets that are dry. They have the moisture for seeding, and that should allow for good germination. But beyond that, they're going to need some rains for sure. So hopefully the heavens open up and they get something.
And so, Matt, let's talk a little bit about the moisture content across the province. In the southern parts of Saskatchewan, they did get a good snow right in April there. How much is that helping them? And then how much rain are we going to just kind of need for across the province? I know you're not a weatherman, but how is it looking for the spring and summer to get that rain that we might need here in Saskatchewan?
Yeah, you're right. I'm not a weatherman, but we did have, when I compare this spring to the last two springs we had in 21 and 22, I know last year in the East, things were really wet, but the Southwest and the West Central was still very dry last year. This year we're seeing, improvements across the whole province, even into the West there, with topsoil moisture, and a large portion of that comes from that snowfall that we had, and that late one, that late snowfall where the snow or the soil, was already exposed, and then that was able to melt right into the soil rather than run off earlier on in the season where it would have. So it's really good to see. And then for livestock producers, we had a good runoff this year, good dugout recharge for the most part. There are some spots that didn't get that recharge, and they'll have to figure out their water situation going forward, and they'll certainly need those rains. But as of right now, most producers are sitting in a good spot And then, like I said, there are pockets that are still very dry, but they do have the moisture enough for germination. And yeah, like I said, the rain just needs to fall when it needs to fall. And uh, we like you said, you don't lose a crop early in the year. It's later on in July when that happens. So we need the moisture in June here coming up, and then also in July. So, like I said, I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I could tell you.
And so, Matt, are there any worries about delays for the province of Saskatchewan and the government's outlook as well about just people not being able to get into the fields as early as they'd like? Is that going to affect yields, or is it all going to be good for the growing season this year?
Know that it's a bit delayed, but that's no problem. We've been here before in the past. The crop will get in. There might be some spots of the southeast and east central regions that are just too wet. Those large bodies of water that just take too long to dissipate. Those areas might go unseeded, but it'll make up a very small percentage. So very optimistic for the year, and we'll see where she goes in the coming weeks.
Thank you so much for the report, Matt, and we will definitely have you on very soon for the next crop report.
Well, thank you very much for having me. Talk to you soon.
Michelle Newfound joins me today here on Primetime Local News. She's the Executive Director of LABIS, the Lloydminster and Area Brain Injury Society. Now, they're going to be hosting a golf event at Rolling Greens on June 15th, and we're here to talk about that event and some of the work that LABIS does here in the community. Michelle, thank you so much for being with me today. First of all, I'll just give you a chance to kind of talk a little bit about this golf event that's going to be taking place in June.
Yes, so Labus is hosting our second annual golf tournament at Rolling Greens on June 15th. We have 9 holes. We've got a stake supper going on. So anyone that comes in and registers, it's for $125 a person. And yeah, you're able to come out for fun. We have a $10,000 hole-in-one this year, which is exciting. And like I said, we have steak supper, which is always awesome out at Rolling Green. So you're in for a good meal. And we have tons of giveaways this year too. So we have lots of prizes to be won, and it's just a day of fun, and it's a day of raising awareness and funds for our charity, which is also just a win-win.
Yeah, so you're able to have a fun time golfing, enjoying the weather, enjoying some good food, but also support a good cause. Can you go into a little bit more about what the money will be going towards? Talk a little bit about what Labus is.
Absolutely. So, Labus offers free programming and supports for people who have sustained brain injuries in our community and their families and caregivers as well. So everything that we raise and all of our fundraisers and all the proceeds that our organization makes always comes back and stays right here in our community and supports those from our community that need it. So it's so important, as we're a one of a kind little service here in town. So any and all awareness that we can get is amazing. And also that all proceeds directly fund those free programs that we're able to support and offer to our participants.
And you're obviously still looking for people to take part to golf in the tournament, but you're also looking for sponsors. There's some sponsorship opportunities still available. So I'll give you a chance to kind of go through some of those, and hopefully someone out there in the community is looking at this and is able to take part as well from a sponsorship perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we're always looking for support in some way. So we'll never turn down any way you want to support, whether that's just coming out and golfing by yourself, or if you are able to become a hole sponsor or a cart sponsor. We're looking for that as well right now. And that way, it's a great way for your organization or your business as well to get the awareness, and that will support you in supporting us that way too. So it will gladly take any way anyone's able to help out, but you will get your golfers and you'll get your steak supper and you'll get your recognition for helping us as well. So we'll gladly take any way you want to help out. Give us a shout, and we'll figure something out for you and your company and your business.
So for anyone out there, be them a business or just someone who wants to now participate in this event that's taking place in June, how can they contact you to get more information or to sign up?
Yeah, so if you want to give us a call right here at our office, you can also go onto our Facebook page and find out all the details and everything like that. You can also call Rolling Greens. They will also have all the information. So there's lots of ways to help out. You can stop in. We happen to have tomato plants for sale right now that our participants are selling. So you can pop in, grab some of those, and ask more about golf. And like I said, any way that if you want to reach out, we'll gladly take your call and we'll hopefully figure something out. It's a great day to come out and have some fun and win lots of prizes and give back to the community by giving back to our organization. So we'll gladly accept and appreciate all support that we can.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking with me about this, taking some time out of your day. Wish you guys the best of luck with this and everything else you're doing, because I know there's always a lot going on with Labus here in Lloydminster.
Yeah, thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
You have an opportunity to support local and shop local tomorrow at the Spring Harvest Collective Market. There's going to be almost 40 vendors on hand, so it's an opportunity to see some really unique items, shop locals, find something great for yourself, or find a great gift for your mom this Mother's Day. Admission is free, but donations will be collected at the door, and those donations will go to support residents in recovery, so they support local. It's the Spring Harvest Collective Market coming up tomorrow, 10 to 4, in the Nissan Hall out at the Lloyd X. Canadian fiddling sensation Scott Woods, he's coming back to our area and he's bringing with him an amazing show. Don't miss out on renowned Canadian fiddle champion Scott Woods and his all-star band with their old-fashioned hoedown. This show, it's one that the whole family is going to enjoy. There's a lot of great live music. There's a lot of great fiddling because he is a champion. Plus, champion step dancing Leo Stock is going to be a part of this show as well. It's coming up Wednesday night in Lashburn. Thursday night, it's going to be in Wainwright. There's still time for you to get tickets, so call the Scott Woods Band to get your tickets. 1-855-726-8896. And don't miss out on this incredible show coming to our area next week. And the Royal Canadian Legion here in Lloydminster, they're back with their She Shed raffle. The grand prize draw is taking place on July the 1st, but coming up tomorrow is the first early bird prize draw, a chance to win gift cards from a number of local businesses here in Lloydminster. A ticket in the She Shed raffle, it's only $10. Get one at the Legion or stop by Cliff Rose for clothes and make sure you're in that early bird draw coming up tomorrow. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
Thank you to everybody joining us here today in studio for this week's entertainment panel. Everybody's favorite day of the week, I would say.
Of course.
Me and Abby St. John. So thank you everyone for joining us. We got some good topics.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
I think very anticipated projects, even one that we don't have too much information on, but still I think people are really excited about our second topic.
Yeah, lots of like projects in the works.
Yeah.
And I think this one that's going to be coming up a bit later on is going to be very interesting, and everyone's kind of excited for that nostalgic kind of feel to it. But starting off, you know, I think a lot of people are very much excited for this because this trailer is showing a little bit more info on this very anticipated movie, and we got the Oppenheimer trailer. So let's take a look.
This is a national emergency. Detonator charged.
Yeah, I think people are very excited for Oppenheimer. Christopher Nolan, obviously, he's a legend in the director world, so a lot of people know who he is and what he does. This movie is also competing with the Barbie movie because they're being released on the same day, July 21st. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a little competition because both movies are very highly anticipated. But we got a better look at Oppenheimer, and it actually looks really good. The trailer really knew how to sell you on it because it was, you know, suspenseful, and it kind of goes through Cillian Murphy's character who plays Oppenheimer. It kind of follows how he reacts to the atomic bomb. As the trailer goes through, it starts out like, we need to beat the Nazis in this, we need to get a bigger bomb in case they have one, and then it kind of slowly starts to show him deteriorating because he realizes just how bad the atomic bomb really is and the damage it will do to the world if they go through with it. And of course, you know, we know that nuclear bombs and the atomic bomb have not done great things. It's probably one of the worst inventions.
Literally, mass destruction. Right
mass destruction. But this movie is based on the 2005 book American Prometheus, and it follows the father of the atomic bomb, J. Robert Oppenheimer, and his role in the Manhattan Project during World War II, where they were able to create nuclear weapons to fight the Nazis or whatever. So this cast is stacked, and it's fantastic. Of course, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Florence Pugh, Jack Quaid, Gary Oldman, Rami Malek, Gustav Skarsgård, another Skarsgård. But this movie looks really, really good. And of course, Christopher Nolan, he knows how to make a really good movie, and a movie that makes you really think. I really do believe that this is going to be a possible Oscar contender.
I think it's going to be definitely very interesting. And with Cillian Murphy, he's a great actor.
Yes.
I've watched him in Peaky Blinders, and I know there's many Peaky Blinders watchers out there. And great actor. He's very good at, you know, kind of demonstrating the, you know, impact of war and everything too, because he was involved in that in the show. And he was just very good at, you know, kind of portraying like how the after effects of how it can damage someone, damage someone's soul pretty much. And I think he's going to do a great job with kind of going through that whole thing of creating that and then seeing, oh Lord, like,
of course,
going through just all that mass destruction and seeing what happens. Now our next topic is one that's in the works, like we were kind of bringing up before, how there's a lot of talk in the entertainment world with different projects, sequels and all that fun stuff. And we got a sequel here for Beetlejuice.
Yes.
And I think that one sounds very fun and interesting. Everybody loves some Beetlejuice. I personally love that old movie. Like, it is so good. And of course, we don't have quite a trailer just yet for the second one, but you know, I'll make sure to throw up the old one for anybody that may forget what that one's all about. But you know, this one sounds like it's going to be really good. We even have Jenna Ortega coming into it, and I think a lot of people are excited for that, considering she's going to be playing Winona Ryder's daughter. And then we have Michael Keaton.
Of course.
You need him back. You need him back.
I mean, you can't have a Beetlejuice movie, especially a sequel, without Michael Keaton. Obviously, because he brought the iconic character of Beetlejuice to life. And so, of course, he has to come back. And then Catherine O'Hara is set to come back as well. And then we have a couple newcomers, like you said, Jenna Ortega, which I think a lot of people, this is the perfect role for her. We saw how she was in Wednesday. We've seen her in a couple horror movies. Like, she knows how to act in a very creepy, very like gothic kind of way. So I think this is the perfect movie for her. And then, of course, she's already worked with Tim Burton on Wednesday. So they have that kind of working relationship as well. We have Beetlejuice's wife, and then Justin Theroux is also in it as well. But the plot and his character are under wraps. So we don't really know too much about it. It's set for September 6, 2024, which is what originally was Marvel's Blade set for. But of course, they had to pause production due to the writers' strike since 1988. So it's a long time coming, and I guess we really are in the world of sequels or reboots right now with old nostalgic movies. So hopefully, with the returning cast and Tim Burton back in the director's chair, I think it's very promising, and I think it's safe, and I'm not too worried about it being ruined, you know?
Yep. I think a lot of people were really excited hearing the announcement of like it's in the works and who's kind of all coming back and whatnot for the project, of course, to just bring back not just the movie for the nostalgic feeling, but also the actors that really portrayed those characters. Of course, like we were saying, there's lots of projects out there that are getting rebooted, sequels coming out, and we even have a couple more that's going to come out that we'll talk about different panels. But this is a good one that we wanted to bring up and just let people know this is in the works. I think it's going to be good and people are going to be excited. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this week's entertainment panel. So once again, thank you everybody for joining us today for this beautiful day, and have a great Mother's Day weekend.
And that's our show for this Friday night. Thank you all so much for joining us this week on Primetime Local News. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather. Happy Mother's Day, and we'll see you again here on Monday.